Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. Hopefully you're all doing well. We're going to be doing some Final Fantasy 14 Secrets of Eternity patch. We're going to be starting out with the Underkeep dungeon.
There are beasts ahead of you. They must have gotten in and made themselves at home.
Sandcake? That's an interesting name. Would have figured it would be more cake-like in form. Like, I know cakes can come in all kinds of forms when you get real fancy with them, but I mean like more traditional cake form.
There should be an access hatch nearby that leads inside. Look for an opening. I'm detecting something big. You'll have to deal with it to continue on.
I lost track of them.
Good work. Now, proceed to the access hatch and head inside. Everkeep's construction was apparently a constant battle against the rising water level. Even during the war, the people labored to maintain the castle. It meant a lot to them. It's upsetting to think that Preservation's terminal is in this place.
Hold on. Someone's jammed communications. Stay alert.
That's probably the one guy.
So, you have come. Let us measure your strength.
Okay, I think I kind of saw how that worked. I think. Hey Shin, how are you? Oh shit. That is gonna hurt. Yep, that hurt. I knew it the moment I saw my mistake. Oh shit, I was on the wrong side of that. I got confused as to where that was going. I do have to thank you for the very lively discussion yesterday in the
That was
Discord
hardly a
chat.
challenge, I see.
It really brightened up my day.
You will show me more. I bid you press on.
I've been, unfortunately, having a bit of a rough week between some stress from work and then just general family drama.
and trouble.
You had to leave and come back. Well, welcome back.
But I have something that may test you
I'm
yet.
going to guess then that you didn't hear anything that I had said. I wanted to thank you for the discussion in the Discord chat the other day. It really brightened up my day. I've been having a bit of a rough week dealing with work stress and family drama, so it was very much welcome. Oh, that's good.
We still lack sufficient data. Very well. Let us see how you perform against this.
Pretty interesting saying that.
This machine has long guarded these crumbling halls. How will you handle this?
Oh, what? What? Yeah, we'll stay right over here, I guess. Oh, okay.
Let us introduce more weaponry.
Let's get all those beams.
Let us see what this yields.
How the fuck I didn't die there? I don't know, but
Perhaps a
thank
new
all
approach
hail
to
the
assess
healer.
your adaptability. Still alive. How unfortunate.
I have this.
For you to die here, it would save me trouble later.
Oh, I did not notice where that shifted. Fuck me.
I'm beginning to understand how you were able to defeat Queen Eternal.
Well, we all give credit to where we find things that fit our belief systems. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's wonderful that we give that we understand that there are things much beyond ourselves. It doesn't look like that thing's going to be shifting off of that access point, so yeah. Woohoo! Okay, so
that will do. We have enough to proceed with an analysis.
we are never just the byproduct of our own decisions and thoughts, but the byproduct of the thoughts and decisions of all those around us and all those that they have interacted with. As all actions and have reactions that span out far beyond just ourselves.
Calix was measuring our strength. Is that why he contrived to lead us here?
Oh, you tell me. I mean, it's a good assumption.
It looks like we've cleared away the machines and beasts. But who knows what else he might have in store. From here on out, Sveen and Shale will move with us. Let's find that terminal, but stay alert for more threats.
I'd have to see if I can find it, but there was a Buddhist prayer I came across a long time ago that I really enjoy and brings me a lot of comfort at times.
Before my illness left me bedridden, I used to walk through here on my way to watch Otis and Zelenia train. You knew Otis, if I'm not mistaken. Zelenia was his second in command in the Royal Knights of Alexandria. Oh, how I loved to see the two of them spar. I once dreamed of fighting by their side, so I studied the magical arts under my tutor. But when I was 15, the storm surge broke out, and both my father and mother passed away. As the new queen, I was forbidden from taking to the battlefield, for our nation would fracture had I died without a successor. Though in the end I could barely move, I regret that I didn't go out there and fight. At least while I still could. My endless self lamented not being able to protect the realm with benevolence. 'Tis a feeling to which I can relate.
Sphene.
Ah, forgive me. 'Twas not my intent to darken the mood. Come, let us press on.
Let's see if I can find it.
This is one big castle, though. How far does this hallway go? Do you
Let's
know,
see.
Sphene?
Okay, here it is. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly through their own confusions, I forgive them. And if there is a situation
What?
I am not ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge, or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. And there's a couple variations on that I've come across over the years. But there's a lot of them that are all pretty much right there along those same lines.
Oh, it seems our guest brought company. So this was your doing? It was. We installed a teleporter that is triggered by the presence of the key, you see? I'm afraid etheric transmissions cannot penetrate the walls of the throne room. It will take your friends a good while to find you.
I confess the Valia Pira did not suffice to assess your capabilities. So I shall try something else. You are free to use anything at your disposal. The better you fight, the more accurate my data. Attaining a precise measure of your strength, that is the most expeditious way to reclaim the key to which you so stubbornly cling.
Yeah, and I'm not giving it up to you.
Ah, noble Zilenia, dashing as ever. These villains mean to do us harm. Strike them down, I bid you. What? This machine is Zilenia. Indeed it is. We couldn't preserve her memories while she lived, so she has been reconstructed from our recollections of her.
In the majority of cases, lying is morally and ethically wrong. There are, of course, some social situations where lying is inevitably the way to cause the least amount of harm.
But to twist the memories of those I held dear and treat them as playthings. This disgrace I cannot abide! Loath though I am to comply with their demands, this monstrosity must be destroyed. Not least of all for Zilenia's honor. If she was indeed created from my memories, even if I cannot fight, I may be able to offer you counsel. So please, lend me your strength and end this farce.
there it is.
I would not be able to stand being in a throne room like this for long periods of time. Well, then there's also the times where it's like a friend of yours asks your opinion about how they look. There are times when, yes, it may be good to tell them the truth, even though they will not be happy with it. And then there are times where you might be best off to lie to, if nothing else, just help boost their confidence and make them feel better about themselves. You're still lying, which is usually wrong, but in certain scenarios, that is actually for the best. Fortunately, it's an issue that I am not very much a master of, and all too often will just go straight to the truth. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. If you're looking at it from a theological standpoint, unfortunately, there are many, many tenets that go into those texts in Abrahamic religion in general that I unfortunately have to disagree with. Regrets, lying can be a regret, and living with regrets is one of the worst ways to live one's own life. Thank you. I was raised Christian. I was actually more specifically raised Catholic, and realized in my late high school, early college years that it really wasn't for me, and went studying and found my own place. One's own beliefs are yours. So long as they don't actively harm anyone else, then there should never be an issue with what someone else believes. But if it in any way causes emotional harm or physical harm to another, then there's a problem. And I feel like a lot of people, no matter what their beliefs are, forget that they need to that they should respect those who believe differently than them. And that sometimes compromises need to be made on both sides so that people can just get along. Well, then you come down to also morality is subjective based upon more social contract than anything of what is actually right and what is actually wrong. And social contract is rewritten over the eons as society and cultures change, even down to what subcultures you're a part of. So, what one person would see as a moral right could be, depending upon someone else's definition of what's morally right, is absolutely wrong. Like, what are the three studies of morality? Ah, here they are. Moral absolutism, moral universalism, and moral relativism. The three different views of morality. Um, like when European/American settlers moved into Alaska and met the Inuit. The Inuit followed a practice of if someone visited their village, uh, even though a couple may be married, they still would have their wife sleep with whatever male was visiting from wherever, because they recognized that they needed that addition to their gene pool in order for the tribe to grow stronger and to thrive. Now, Western culture, being very much of the Abrahamic religion type, saw that as a huge, huge wrongdoing. But, given the culture and the way the Inuit lived, honestly, that was the most moral good, was to have that action in their lifestyle. During that time, and so that caused friction. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with good self-desires of various things. The only problem is that when your own self-desires would actually then harm someone else. Only if your self-desire actually would harm someone else would they actually become, in any kind of moral sense, evil. There are times and some things where it's like your self-desire would actually, if it actually ends up bringing good to others around you, then it was actually a very good thing. A lot of self-desires would probably end up being ultimately neutral in the scheme of things. But there are a lot of things that people do that are unfortunately rather harmful to others that, well, they themselves benefit. That's a situational thing, but yeah, you're right there. Kind of annoyed by how long this queue is taking, considering how quickly the other queue went. Oh. Oh, well, okay. I always love when my YouTube videos get comments. Well, usually. Some of them I just like, really? Like, really? You had to make that comment? Like, you had nothing better in your life to do than to try to emotionally hurt someone. But this comment I actually kind of like. It was put on a Destiny 2 stream that just finally went live on YouTube from, I don't know, like a month and a half ago. Where they're like, no spoilers, but it gets a lot harder. And it's like, and unfortunately, I found that that content actually got much easier. But back to your lying to preserve lives. Probably one of the most famous instances of doing that to protect lives that I can think of immediately. The full story of would be Schindler's List. Anne Frank also kind of comes to mind, but it's like that would actually focus more on the people that helped Anne Frank and her family more than herself. And unfortunately, I don't remember who any of those people were. Because unfortunately for a friend of mine who really enjoys more modern history, I prefer more ancient history. Like pretty much about 1700s, I start losing interest in historical events. But world history pre-1700s absolutely fascinates me. Like I had this one professor in college. Uh, he was a history professor. Brilliant man. No social skills whatsoever. But absolutely brilliant man. Spoke like 8 different languages fluently. Read like 2 more on top of that. Supposedly, he served with the CIA in Vietnam. But one of the things he had us study, which was probably one of the more interesting pieces of more modern history we studied, was he had us study a book on the practices of etiquette in the court of Louis XIV. He also had a book that was on the etiquette of court for Tsar Nicholas, which that was more funny than I would say interesting. How that man lived, even for as long as he did, is absolutely absurd. But was like in back to my earlier point. Apparently, like it was extremely rude in the court of Louis XIV in France to knock on doors. It was apparently too jarring of a sound. So what you had to do to notify an occupant of a room that you were asking for entry was to scratch at the door with your fingernails. So nobles in the court would always keep really long fingernails on one hand for that very purpose. Oh yeah, I need to add these 2 games to the list of games that we can potentially stream, if I ever get around to them on the backlog, or if anyone ever actually requests them. Picked up a few games off of Woot for really cheap that I was really wanting to get. At least his music's good. Yeah? Did something happen? Did my stream cut out or something? No, not interrupt frames. Oh, okay. I've been sitting here talking and not even realizing that you'd left, and then you came in with like, "You good?" I was just like, "Wait, what? Did something go wrong?" No. Oh no, I hope not. No, your no fault needed to be taken there. Although I definitely can't remember what all I chatted about while you were away. Well, then I don't think you missed too much. I think I've mostly been quiet since then. Just kind of waiting for this stupid queue to pop. I mean, this is brand new content. Hasn't even been out a week. You'd think being a weekend, it would pop sooner than this, but let's go EVT-IDs. Trainer IDs. Yeah, trainer IDs, I think is probably what that stands for. Pray tell. Okay, so it's not right there at eye level. So I thought it was there for a moment. Still wondering what this has to do with Let's Go Eevee trainer IDs. So far, I'm not saying the connection. I thought the trainer IDs were random. Are you saying it's based off the letters of the name? Ah. Okay. I know I've talked about this a couple times over the years on this channel, but I remember years ago, I believe it's pseudoscience, but I believe that it is called noetic science, which is basically, from my understanding of it, a study of how the human brain affects the world around it, both as an individual and en masse. And one of the things that that primarily apparently started the study was that apparently in large cities during New Year's celebrations, random number generators will stop being random. Now, like I said, this is entirely a pseudoscience, so don't put any veracity behind anything of this. But those who study noetic science basically go that the concentration of a vast number of human minds concentrating on specific numbers during the countdown actually affects quantum physics and will interact with the random number generators around them, causing them to not be as random. I've only watched a few episodes of Eureka 7. It's one I need to sit down and watch fully. Probably the most extreme thought process in noetic science is the thought that if God did not create humans, did humans create God by mass believing in a god? This was which is, if even remotely possible, is just a mind-blowing concept to think about. Not one I find to be probably accurate, but mind-blowing in just thought alone. Well, inevitably what if that were actually the case, that means by large amounts of humans believing in any god would thus create said god to be believed in. And so then they would actually be out in the universe in some form. And yes, there is that. I think it was just 2 years ago, supposedly, some mathematician came out and said that we actually are living in a simulated universe. And apparently a bunch of mathematicians can't disprove his math on it. Potentially. In reality, it could just be that we are in a simulation of some sort, potentially, and our brains just do not want to accept such a reality as being real, and so goes to the normal idea of our brains is that ignorance is bliss. And something that would so damage our concept of the world around us would be rejected. There is that possibility. There is the possibility that we are merely the subconscious of some being or some beings that merely exist while they sleep and slumber. We'd both be the same idiot god then. Yeah, possibly. Or we could just be the madness made manifest of some eldritch horror thing. Well, yes and no. We don't really know what it does outside of observation, which goes into the whole problem of Schrodinger's cat and Pavlov's dog. Is that we only truly know the results of something by observation, and by failing to observe something, we merely guess at what is actually the case. And I mean, with recent inquiries and new thought processes of how electrons work, and even photons and the speed of light being in question, yes, but quantum mechanics says all possibilities are true because math goes, you can't have all states being false. They then have to either all be true and false at the same time, or something is wrong with the experiment, which is basically what Schrodinger's cat thought experiment is all about. Like Schrodinger's cat's a really interesting concept, but thankfully not one that was actually put into practice, though I do believe the similar thought experiment of Pavlov's dog actually did have practical experiments, which is just horrible, but still a thing. Where it's just like, until you actually observe a phenomena, it is both true and false at the same time, simultaneously. Until observed and seen what the result is. See, time paradoxes are an interesting thing. We've got many theories about how time paradoxes would work. But ultimately, it very much depends upon how the rules would actually function for such in any given universe. Like, in general, and about the best instance I can think of with what you're going with right there would be basically like the rules that were shown kind of in Time Cop, where they said that the same matter could not interact with the same matter. So it's like, if you went back in time, you could not hug your past self without causing a paradox of some sort. But the rub there is that your past self would actually be made of different matter than you are now. So would you really be the same matter interacting with each other? But there are a couple of possibilities of how universes would deal with a paradox of some sort. Well, in a closed time-like curve, yes. But if you're dealing with rules that allow for multiple timelines, all you would have done is create a jumping off point of a new timeline, where in one you gave yourself a hug and another you didn't. And in fact, it would actually be a multiple time alternate timelines with every possibility for every possibility of you took a step towards giving them a hug and then didn't, or and so on and so forth through all possibilities. Well, the rules of time in so-called fated timelines would generally be more of, if a paradox were to occur, either the entire timeline would completely collapse and all of that timeline's existence would cease to exist simultaneously, both past, present, and future. Or well, not that it was always going to happen, but that it is a self-correcting timeline, which means that it would ultimately, the timeline has a fated position that it ends up at, and so it would fix fate to fix the events of the rest of the timeline to where this was allowed and still met this ultimate goal. And then there is the thought process that all of time and space happens simultaneously. Yes. I did see Dial of Destiny. One of the better Indiana Jones movies. I spoke about that. I spoke about my opinions of the Indiana Jones universes when we were playing The Great Circle. I still think I'm releasing streams from that on YouTube. How many more of those do I've got? While I'm sitting here thinking of it. Because I don't have anything else to do right now, since still waiting on people for this. Looks like I still got 2 more streams of Indiana Jones to post up on YouTube. They're the last streams from back in January that are still left. And just for anyone who's wondering, if there should be a link down below to our Discord, to our Facebook page, which I don't really use at all anymore, because unfortunately Twitter and Facebook have become just an absolute cesspool that I absolutely hate being on. And I just haven't really removed those links at all. Because I keep hoping that maybe at some point, those things might turn around. And then there should also be a link to our YouTube page, which has, like the last 5.5 years of streams we've done on there? Because, yeah, I think I started in late 2019. So if you're ever curious if you've ever played a game before, that's a good place to go check. And also, if there's ever a game you want me to play, there is a request option in the viewer rewards. Just a little aside from all the more serious talk. I love me some RPGs. I really love me some RPGs. More a fan of action RPGs than I am real-time RPGs, but action RPGs and shooters are probably like the two biggest things I do. Like as soon as I get done going through Veilguard, I'm going to try to get caught back up on Assassin's Creed games before getting to the last two Yakuza games I need to do. You're actually resetting for the trainer ID as you speak. Oh, so the numbers you're trying to get. I thought they were numbers you already got. Well, I wish you luck on getting what you're wanting there. Oh, come on. Seriously. Yeah. 73 minutes so far for new content. Which absolutely flabbergasts me. Triple digit chains to include Squirtle and Blastoise and maybe evolutions. What do you mean by triple digit chains? Gary in the anime had an Eevee parallel to Pikachu and Blastoise. .133 equals Eevee, 151 equals Mew. I am still going to need some 7 Squirtle, Blastoise is 9. It's not an official term, triple digit chains, but it's your term. I am still not seeing where this is going.
first 3 digits of the 6-digit trainer ID was supposed to add to a significant Kantomon, and so are the last 3. Okay. When they meet those criteria, you'll finally start the playthrough. Ah, okay. That is one of those things I will never go through and do on a game. I have, at times, mentally entertained like the idea of trying to get a shiny starter, like right from the get-go, because I know in some games they're not shiny locked. But it's just like, the amount of times you would have to go through and do that, no. I am... You're waiting that long because the Pokemon that save catches that have that TID forever? Yes, you are correct. You regale me with the good ones you've already gotten. By all means. Zoroark is one of my favorite Pokemon. No, I'm good. I have no. I don't really have much interest in modding. Growlithe used to be one of my favorite Pokemon a long time ago. Evolves into the final noble Pokemon. Swaying Growlithe Kimono event distribution. The Hisuian Growlithe form, I really love that look. We're at 90 minutes now for getting this to pop. It looks like they're doing something very specific that I don't know. Dancing flag. Oh. I've never had to wait this long for new content like this. I have no idea what's going on here. Why did I never hear the Kiryu-chan? That's interesting.
Kiryu-chan!
There it goes. That was a hell of a delay. Why am I not surprised that it's broken? I've been waiting 100 minutes to get into the Minstrel's Ballad Fiend's Burden. Of course shit's broken. Why would I not Duty Finder that? I mean, yeah, why would I not? No, it's not an extreme. That's the story. No, it's seriously, that is the story version. There's no other version of it. Okay, so then what am I supposed to be queuing in for? Because when it said that I unlocked something after doing that dungeon, that's the only thing it said I unlocked. So I've been sitting here waiting on it. While we don't reply from you, let's go take a look at maybe seeing why. Recollection is what I'm supposed to be doing? Okay, we can do that. Extensions. My extensions. Then why did it say the only thing I unlocked was apparently the extreme version unlocked before you actually even do the real thing? When that's nonsense start?
I am Zelenia Triantaphili, Royal Knight of Alexandria, and sworn blade of Her Majesty the Queen.
Well, then how did I get it? Because I've never even done this. And I never went back to Tulialo. This is where I was the entire time after beating that dungeon.
Upon my blade, I swear.
I wish someone had told me that like an hour and a half ago.
You will not defile Zelenia's memory any longer.
Because I've been running around that circle for the last hour talking.
Feel the sting of my divine blade!
I wasn't blaming you in particular. I was just going, wish someone had told me. That or I wish I wasn't so much of an idiot. Ow, that hurt.
How about you?
I was not expecting that. Apparently some other people weren't expecting how that worked either.
Fall!
That her blade work should be recreated so faithfully.
But how are you, Kuroi? I will try to figure out, because I just tried to replay the alert and it still hasn't played.
I will suffer none to threaten
So I gotta try and figure out
Alexandria.
what's up with
Heavens roar!
sound alerts. Although it had all kinds of issues just playing and or even opening up for me. It did not much care for my antivirus stuff, so...
Have care. Zelenia was capable of much, much more.
I will show you the soul of a royal knight! For the honor and glory of Alexandria, I strike!
I vaguely remember Monster Hunter Stories. I don't think I played it, but I think I have it. Wait, why the fuck did I die?
No more games!
Quickly, away from the sigils. The sigils channel magic. Be on your guard.
But because when I had full HP going into that, I don't understand why I didn't afterwards. Why I feel like I got completely one-shotted.
You must brace for blade and magic both.
How about you?
I do not like this boss.
Taste my steel! There is no escape!
Well, there I got the alert pretty quick. I did not get the actual sound pretty quick. Huh. Okay, that seems to be by design on that one.
No harm shall come to Her Highness.
You will not defile Zelenia's memory any longer.
I don't know why you would have the there'd be such a long pause from the beginning of that soundbite to the end, but okay.
Feel the sting of my divine blade.
I know this technique. You must keep moving.
How about you?
Well, it was during that transition where it put everyone down for the count, and
blade work should be recreated so faithfully.
I will suffer none to threaten Alexandria! Heavens roar!
Wait, what the fuck? Maybe I'm lagging?
Have care. Zelenia was capable of much, much more.
I will show you the soul of a royal knight!
Ooh!
For the honor and glory of Alexandria, I strike!
Wait, how the fuck am I alive?
No more games!
What the fuck is going on?
Quickly! Away from the sigils! The sigils channel magic. Be on your guard.
You've no time even to fear my wrath!
So I should be off the red bits, I figure.
You must brace for blade and magic both.
Have at you! Taste my steel! There is no escape! Surge! Have at you! Fall!
Think I'm safe here? Guess I wasn't
know
safe there?
This is merely a reconstruction.
Okay, I just didn't see what. No.
I have pledged my life to you.
That one worked.
Have at you! My resolve shall never waver. I am sworn to protect my queen! I will die before I yield!
What? I don't understand what happened.
How about you?
I do not like this boss. I believe that is a tank buster. I do not want to be near
That's
everyone
right.
else.
Zalenia was
How the fuck
always
I got
there
a
to
tank buster?
protect
I
me.
don't know. What? Okay, so there's that. Nope, I still was in it.
My steel. Rage and royal. How about you?
Is that how I got the tank buster? Was the second tank isn't using a stance and main tank was dead?
Surge.
I guess need to move over here. I don't understand that at all. That is not a clearly defined AoE. You got crackling shit on the outside of it that indicates that it should be outside that area. Then you go into it and you still die. I have no idea what I did there. I have no concept of how I survived that. It did not visually make sense to me.
Fall. Taste my steel. Rage and royal.
I saw that AoE marker too late. Follow them. I guess they. Hopefully they know what they're doing. I certainly don't.
How about you?
I didn't get out of whatever that was in time, or I walked into something. I don't know. Something happened and I got hit.
A disgraceful display. Forgive me, my queen. I have failed you.
Did you get what you needed?
I did. Though these figures will complicate matters.
Is that so? Well,
Oh,
if we are done
usually
here, then we
trials
shall end the
are
transmission.
never fun.
Hold it! If you have no scruples about thus defiling the memories of Zelenia, then there is no way we will ever see eye to eye. You are not fit to be entrusted with the cherished memories of Alexandrians.
I, for one, have no wish to employ the fruits of my research in this manner. It is a waste of time and effort. But since I relinquished my flesh long ago, I must resort to every conceivable method, so long as the hero insists on keeping the key. Why do you so oppose our objective? With the key, we would be able to harvest ether from other reflections and bring forth more endless. We could give this chance to evolve not only to the people of the Ninth, but to those of the Source as well. I see
'Cause
no
it's
reason
wrong.
why you should reject such a boon.
How miserly you are. But unless you're willing to compromise, you won't be able to save anyone or anything. Well, I'd say our conversation has run its course. Ultimately, what you think is immaterial, for the seeds we've sown have already quickened. The people have glimpsed hope in transcending death, and they can ill turn away from it. And thus does my role come to an end. The rest I leave in your capable hands, Calix.
As a token of gratitude for consenting to my tests, I leave you with a gift. Be sure to take it with you.
But where's the fun in that? I don't much, and there's very few things I enjoy watching the playthrough of, regardless of any kind of bullshit things like that fight. I also usually go into all fights kind of blind. I hate looking up things of how a fight's supposed to go, because, and that stems from my days of raiding on Lord of the Rings Online, where there really weren't guides there. Not to mention there were so many different ways that people could build any given class to where it could drastically change a format. Selenia was kind, but she could be stern, a pillar of strength when I ascended the throne in troubled times. Not only did she protect me, she also buoyed my spirit whenever it threatened to buckle under the pressures of my station. By preserving her memory and honor, you've done more for me than you could know. Thank you. I mean, yes, I can probably go through now and see those cutscenes, now that I've actually done that. Sphene stands in silence.
Selenia, it pains me to think that you're gone too.
Aha! Oh, we found you at last.
You had us quite worried when you suddenly disappeared. What in the world happened?
Then preservation's objective is indeed what Calix claimed. But for them to know about the source and the shards, and to refer to theirs as the Ninth, that raises some questions.
Oh, it most certainly does.
But for now, I'm just glad the two of you are safe. Oh, right. While we were scouring the castle for you, we came upon a room that looked like a library.
By learning about the Alexandria of old, we may gain valuable insights into preservation. Might we take a number of books with us? So books still remain. Of course. You are welcome to any that may be of use.
If you don't mind, could we take a look around here first? I'm especially curious about the area over by the throne.
If you got to make art for fiction, you'd want to portray tall warriors as not multiple times the normal adult's height.
This tiara, it was hers, the Endless Fiends. What's it doing here?
It's a type of regulator, I believe. Contains the data of the Endless Fiend's memories. Calix likely used it to create the simulant. Which means that as long as the tiara is in our keeping, we shouldn't need to deal with any more simulants. Strange that he would abandon it, though. Perhaps because the simulant already played her role, like she said. Or Calix made a copy of the memories. In any case, not much information of import appears to
No,
remain on this
once I
table.
finished up the
I'll make
story,
it
that's
so
what I
we
was
can
actually going to
access it
start to
remotely from the
unlock.
back room.
This contains the memories of another me. The tale of her journey as Queen of Alexandria. Might I hold on to this tiara? You may examine it whenever you wish, of course.
I mean, for me, that mainly
for the
depends
best, you
upon
think?
the height of the species that would be
Does that work for you,
using.
Shale?
No objections from me. All right, I'm finished. Let's head to the library and then back outside.
Because, I mean, different species are going to have different height variations. I was going to start doing those as soon as I finished up the MSQ. I have not yet done the raids yet.
Farewell, Selenia.
You're more than welcome to join me if you want. I can probably drop back down into the voice channel of my server. I was in a group server of mine that oh, I always love your help, Roy. Or anyone's help. The simulant gave the impression that she wouldn't be back, but I suppose only time will tell. And at present, we have no further leads on Calyx. For now, perhaps you could take a moment to contact our friends. It would be good to catch each other up on recent developments. I'm certain everyone would appreciate hearing from you. I mean, you generally don't have to ask me twice about playing a game with friends. If it isn't you, is something the matter? So, preservation is behind the recent intrigue. It does surprise me. I'm glad to hear you are none the worse for wear. As for myself, I've just concluded a meeting with Gasson. I told him about the cure for Levin sickness, and we formed a tentative plan to treat all those who are stricken. I'm now otherwise unoccupied, so I shall take a look around the government sector to see if aught is amiss. This Calyx is obsessed with the key, then I ought to begin studying it in earnest as well. This is a surprise. Has Book Lamont gotten into trouble again? Yeah, of course we've gotten into trouble again. I see. Knowing you, I expect you've already looking forward to the next obvious trap. Try not to overdo it. I'm in the outskirts at the moment. I've been helping the people with their work and talking to those I met to gauge their sentiment. It's been uneventful for the most part, but there was one notable development. Following recent events, some were stopped wearing regulators. This has led to a disparity in what people remember about the Queen's death and the occasional episode of confusion. I'm sure to let you know if there are any other changes. Oh, excellent time, my friend. I had in mind to call you myself to see how you were faring. Calyx, while something was obviously afoot, one could have imagined that such an individual would be involved. As well, you were able to prevent the simulant from sowing further uncertainty. That said, her absence may have consequences. People of Alexandria still have great trust in Sphene. 'Tis plain in the way they speak of her even now, and how the Simulant was able to win them over. When they know she will cease to appear again, rumor and worry will spread. We must be mindful of any pronounced shift in the mood of the populace. But forgive me, it's been a battle after battle for you, hasn't it? We can handle ourselves for now, so pray rest up while you can and recover your strength. Yes, hello? For you to call the Blues, something wrong? What, you went all the way to the bottom of the Everkeep and you didn't think to ask me to come? But I suppose I've been fairly busy myself. I'm pleased to say that we've received permission to begin administering the cure for Levin sickness to citizens. I'm actually due to visit a boy named Milos shortly to see how he is responding to his treatment. You met him before with Lamati, I believe. The two of you should attend as well if you have time. What did the others have to say, if I may ask? They finished reading Milos, then we have to go and visit him. That also depends on which version of the Hulk. There are certain versions of the Hulk where he is actually much taller than 8 feet. And some versions of the Hulk where he is actually quite respectful of human life. Would you mind if I accompanied you? I understand he's afflicted with the self-same condition as I was, and I cannot help but worry for him. Of course, we don't mind at all. In the meantime, I shall take myself around Solution 9 and see how things are. I share Elfino's concerns about the Queen's absence. And even setting that aside, the situation is not like to resolve itself while becoming endless remains an option. I've been meaning to visit some shops, so I shall join Cryo. While everyone's out and about, I'll try to pick up Calix's trail. I'll see if I can dig up some information about the key for Y'shtola as well. I'll help you. Seems we all have things to do. Still, there's no telling what else Calix might have planned, so please be careful, everyone. Right, let's go to Milos' apartments in residential radius 914, if I remember correctly. Well, I mean, his size and strength is dependent upon the relationship between the Bruce Banner persona and the Hulk persona. The Hulk persona being a kind of, well, what's the best way to put it? Like a mental and emotional protector for the Banner persona. And then mix that with, depending on how angry the Hulk is, will also decide his size, his ability to maintain a civil relationship with the other half of himself. Hello, you came before with Queen's Fiend. I'm glad you came again. I believe you'll be fine now, but just for good measure, I'll administer a healing spell.
I once hoped that Milos at least might be made an endless. Then he wouldn't need to suffer anymore. You feel different now? Thanks to Alizé, Milos is on the road to recovery. He can grow up and live a normal life. And I want to be there with him, every step of the way. To grow old with him, as his mother, and not something else. That should do it. You're doing well, I'm glad to say.
Thank you, Alizé.
You're welcome, Milos. Now, you'll feel breathless for a little while still, but don't fret. It'll get easier to speak with time. That said, we can't rule out the possibility of a relapse. As a precaution, I would keep him away from lightning-infused objects. Lightning. Does that include regulators? It does. I understand if it's difficult for you to part with something that you've worn for so long, though, so it's entirely up to you. No. For Milos' sake, I will do it. And if the environment here isn't good for him, I must consider moving outside the dome.
You two would be more than welcome in Tulihyolal.
It's very assuring to hear that. If you don't mind, could you tell me about the process?
I'm happy. I can talk again.
Talking's always a good thing,
Before,
if you wish
I
to.
couldn't even thank my mother for caring for me. But now we can talk lots. I can tell her that I'm happy. That I like it when she strokes my hair.
Your mother is happy to talk to you as well, I'm sure.
Queen's Fiend always cheered me up. Always said that she would cure me. Today, I'll practice walking with Mother. And next time, I'll go and visit you.
The in-story audience, but more importantly, the IRL viewer.
Thank you for explaining everything.
I mean, the in-story audience, I think, fully understands that the Hulk can be incredibly dangerous. And the movie kind of became a little more tame when the two personas kind of united and became Professor Hulk.
Good to see Milos doing so well.
The Endless Me gave him the strength to hang on, and she didn't rely on any special power to do so.
Well, in Endgame, the Hulk didn't show up much because, well, he was afraid of Thanos. Because Thanos kind of kicked his ass. Something he was not used to.
I wish to be there to watch him grow as well. to make my way beside the people of Alexandria.
Thus, why Banner used the
In name of
Hulkbuster
his
armor
evolution,
during that
Calyx
final
has
battle.
brought much unease and misery, and I cannot condone his path. No, I shall forge ahead on a path of my own, one that honors the memory of my other self.
Sreen is in higher spirits. He was a kind and brave boy. It did me well to see him. One day I hope that I can speak with him about my other self. Come, let's return to the back room, and on the way let us pick up treats for our friends. A little gift to show our appreciation for their hard work.
Citizens of Alexandria, please be advised. The distribution of neo-regulators has concluded. We ask that all recipients equip their regulators and promptly complete device registration. The evolution of our kind is at hand. Together we shall rise above death and bask in the infinite possibilities of eternal life.
Well, yes, and I mean, even in the comics, the Hulk character would go back and forth between that and being the more civilized, intelligent Hulk.
Those with neo-regulators will become endless, apparently.
You mean there's no more? Well, don't you feel lucky?
Don't look at me like that. Queen's Fiend said there were only so many.
I haven't registered mine yet. The more I thought about it, the more unsure I felt about becoming an Endless.
Well, I registered right away. Anything to stop those terrible nightmares of being killed by mechanical soldiers.
Ultimately, what you think is immaterial, for the seeds we've sown have already quickened. The people have glimpsed hope in transcending death, and they can ill turn away from it. I see. The terror of their first encounter with death still lingers in their hearts. Having previously been spared even the idea of it, they know not how to handle the emotions.
The funeral was meant to give everyone the chance to come to terms with loss. To grieve and move forward together.
But that would entail that the Hulk is incapable of character growth, and only Bruce Banner is capable of character growth.
And to see those
which would be
happy souls, those who remembered must have wondered
completely
if it might not be better to be like them.
abnormal
To a time when death didn't exist.
for any kind of intelligent creature, which the Hulk has all of Banner's intelligence. It's
and
just
now they've been presented with the chance to do just that.
he's so full of rage in his more powerful forms that
If this fear of death continues
reason
to sway
isn't
in the
entirely
people,
there.
what will become of Alexandria? The gifts for our friends will have to wait. We should return to the back room at once.
Oh, you're safe. That broadcast had us worried. The entire populace is on edge.
So Alphino and the others are
I mean,
still
even
out
his
there.
ability to intimidate, that would all be based off of which version of the Hulk it currently is.
Killed by a mechanical soldier here on Trueview. Wayakoi is on the scene and reports that the problem unit has been subdued by another sentry.
That doesn't make sense. Only someone with the King of Resolve's authority could order a soldier to do that.
Not good. I tried to check the status of the authority but was blocked from the core system. Given recent developments, I'd wager that Calyx is responsible for this.
Perhaps we should go and see for ourselves.
It's me. There's been an incident in the outskirts. A mechanical soldier attacked a local resident, for no apparent reason. Fortunately, several nearby hunters dealt with the rogue machine, so everyone is safe. But if other soldiers were to... Wait.
I would disagree with that on so many points because...
More hostile sentries are bound for the
although the character was recast, the Hulk movies that came out prior to Iron Man are still technically, as from my understanding, canon. But, I mean, he went through that. Both Banner and... Because Hulk is not fully his own person. He's a persona that started when Banner was young to cope with childhood traumas.
I'm coming too.
And so his entire existence is really about protecting Banner.
Let's go.
And I mean, as Banner became more familiar with what was going on, well, it's more as the two personalities have become closer to each other. So, in a sense, think of Banner and the Hulk in like his Banner's mind. Basically like having tea and discussing things, and depending on how well they get along and they can deal with everything going on in the world will depend upon how emotionally stable they are. Like, the closer the two of them are to harmony, the weaker the Hulk is, the smaller the Hulk is, the more that the few times that he will go into Hulk form, he'll be more like the Professor Hulk that you saw. In some ways. It just depends, because then there's also like World Breaker Hulk, which is on a far end of the spectrum where Banner's kind of disappeared from the entire equation. Hulk's the only one there, basically. And just goes on this huge rampage of destroying the universe. Things are settled down here, but I still see no sign of Aaronville. Let's split up and look for him. Gulujah, Sphene, please search in this settlement area. Meanwhile, the rest of us who can defend ourselves will head further out. Hey, Kuroi.
What up?
Not much. Just wrapping up the MSQ and then discussing the Hulk in chat.
He green, he smash. It's about the extent of what I know there.
He doesn't always smash. It depends upon which form of the Hulk it is. Oh wait, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. I thought that was a fate there for the moment.
And you smashing Black Widow then?
Well, he was until she died.
Maybe he shouldn't have smashed her that hard.
He's not the one who did it.
Like if I know.
At least I don't think he was. Been once I've watched Endgame.
I have not watched it.
Oh, you're missing out. That was... I wouldn't say it was the best Marvel movie, but it was a really good one.
I think the only ones I've really watched are the Wolverine movies and Deadpool.
That was a close call. My thanks. As I was leading the soldiers away, I caught sight of this poor fellow being pursued. I want to help was rather out of my depth. We're lucky you found us when you did. Aaronville, I'm so glad you're safe. We were quite worried when we couldn't find you. We encountered soldiers on the way here. Most paid us no mind, but some turned out to be hostile. There's no way to tell until they set on you. Ones here also attacked without any warning. If I hadn't been paying attention, it could have ended badly. Hopefully the others were able to escape. We should return to the outskirts to take stock. You didn't mean ultimate as in final, but as in the greatest? I know there's probably better forms of the Hulk that I'm not aware of, because I am not the most familiar person with the Hulk comics and storyline. But from what I do know, I would say probably. Or at least probably the ultimate form that is not a villain.
We're none the worse for the wear. But let's see what the situation is here.
Geode and his people came and joined us while we were searching for you. After which we happened to encounter Malachite. His usher duties brought him here, and he has quite the story to tell.
Hopefully your week's gone better than mine.
It's a bit puzzling, to say the least. Even so, I'll try my best to explain.
But mine?
Yeah, yours.
I was called to attend to the unfortunate soul slain by the mechanical soldier.
Been uneventful.
Oh, well, mine's been stress and family drama, so I would take uneventful. That's my normal week.
When I arrived,
I've just been
found
playing
no body.
Monster Hunter stories most
Only
of the
a
week.
pile of dust.
I actually, unfortunately, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna be like for me. But I wanted to try at some point see this weekend if you wanted to do some Monster Hunter Wilds.
I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it.
How odd. Did they remember the victim at least?
They did. Their memories of the deceased weren't sent to the cloud, I don't believe. Yet, no body remained.
If someone took it,
I
surely they would have been
probably
noticed.
do that Sunday night after.
With your permission, I shall
Static
return to
crap.
the government sector for now. Please take care.
Well, depending on when that is, I'd probably be up for it.
I don't remember.
It depends on what time I get home from more family drama.
If preservation is behind the attacks, I fear this won't be the end of it.
All the Neo-regulators have been distributed, and potentially 5,000 Endless are about to be born. What does Calyx hope to achieve with these killings?
Oh, right. Yeah, we weren't going. We were going early. It was gonna be like 2:33. So it'd probably be done around like 6 Central.
Oh, I won't even be home by then.
Yeah, so I'll be free by the time you get home.
Yeah. I probably won't get home till like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Central.
Shale told me what happened. Is everything all right?
Okie dokie.
I see. 'Tis a relief to hear that Erenville is safe. Alas, I do not have good news to share in return. A driver lost control of his vehicle when its interface became unresponsive.
Came for the what?
Crashed into the Nexus arcade.
Looking for the Poogies on Monster Hunter while you do your cutscenes.
Kryl and I are helping to render aid, but with the sentries behaving strangely, we can't afford.
Strangely enough, I have barely played this patch.
Vigilant, my friend.
Was Stories the more RPG story based game?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically Monster Hunter Pokemon.
That's what I thought. I think I have that game. I just
received word from the back room.
never got around to playing it.
You fight alongside your Pokemon wearing the bits and pieces of all the Pokemon you had killed along the way.
What better way to intimidate your Pokemon than to be wearing their brothers and sisters?
That's right. If only regular Pokemon were like this, I could just see it right now. You walk up to some kid, bug hunter in the woods, wearing like Nidoran gauntlets and greaves with a Miltank chest on with udders dangling about, whip the shit out of the kid with a fucking Charizard tail and...
Well, see, that's something that I don't fully understand, is because, if I remember correctly, there are many instances where they say that people eat Pokemon on a regular basis. And that pretty much, as far as I can tell, every animal in that world is a Pokemon.
So people eat Slowpoke tails.
Exactly. So you would think, and if I remember correctly, on the SSN, there's people eating Magikarp.
Yeah.
So it's just like, kind of, am amazed that like when people are hanging around their Pokemon, that the Pokemon aren't traumatized just by the fact of you're eating my kind.
I think they just intentionally tried to not talk about it.
Well, that's because it's made to be a children's game, and so it's like, we'll bury that lore as much as we can, or just kind of ignore the consequences of this. Oh, it was something I was thinking about, because I was told the last time I visited my mom and dad that my dad has apparently started watching the Pokemon anime with my nephews when my nephews visit him.
I don't know, the only thing about the Pokemon anime that ever really kind of like stuck with me is that one guy that was like strength training as Sandshrew.
I never watched. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I've never paid much attention to it.
Well, the only reason that stuck in my brain is because of the accent. He's like, "Go, Sandshrew."
I think the most interesting piece of lore that, or at least one of the most interesting pieces of lore that I'm still curious about even to this day, is Lieutenant Surge is apparently a war veteran from a war that had just finished up right around the time of the anime. So it's like, okay, what was this war? What was going on? Can we get some more details on this, please?
That's probably where most of the adults went.
Probably where Ash's dad went.
I don't know. My head lore on that is Ash's dad went out to get milk, and Professor Oak is sliding in them DMs like, "What up, Ash's mom?"
I kind of had a theory that maybe Oak is actually Ash's dad.
Surely there's a finite number
No,
of these things.
I think.
Everyone, please try to remain calm and make your way to resolution.
I can't remember one. I'll try to piece
just
the
like
words. Never
before.
mind.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't have any souls left. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I know something that had to do with Celebi and Oak as a young kid had something to do with Professor Oak intentionally making sure Ash got that Pikachu.
I didn't even know that Oak had ever met Celebi.
He did as a kid. It was one of the Pokemon movies, I think.
No, you don't! Are you all...
So even had Ash been on time, he would have gotten that
Why
Pikachu
did you
anyway.
do that? Why? You can't just leave me alone like this.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Alright, I just picked up 54.
You'd still be here. You'd still
Mark
be
that
with
one
me.
off.
But now...
74. I have, so moving on. 17, don't have. Alright, to the Mount Hungry Caves I go. Fucking Poogies. Find 100 Poogies spread across the world to get the Great Poogie Monstie. Just saying that out loud sounds stupid.
It really does. I wasn't going to be the first one to say it, though.
Probably doesn't help that I put weird emphasis on it.
Just a little bit.
So many hurt. So many dead.
Usually, I do usually do that when I
This is
find
wrong.
what I'm saying to
This
be dumb.
is all wrong.
Okay. There we go. Mount Pondry Cave Mount. And pretty soon I'll be replacing my poor story Rathalos that was with me all the, well, half the way.
I think the 12 you are all unharmed. Just
Fuck the 12, we beat their ass.
Yes, we did. Very slowly over a long period of time and many, many different fights. Just small solace amidst this tragedy, however. The machine rampage seems to have been only temporary. Soldiers and vehicles alike ceased to operate all at once. They had fulfilled their purpose. Same outside Everkeep, though members of Oblivion are keeping watch for good measure. First attacks came shortly after the announcement that Neo regulars had run out. It can't have been a coincidence. I struggle to imagine that anyone but Calyx could gain control of the soldiers. This must have served his ends in some way. Gulu Jia, are you still without your authority? It's fine. Now I'm in control again. We might take the opportunity to shut down the machines. There's no guarantee this won't happen again. Limity just talked with the Everkeep's administration about that. They said it wasn't so simple. The mechanical soldiers don't only serve as guards, they also perform various vital tasks, like providing medical treatment and managing food production. If we shut them down, we'd struggle to render aid to the citizens, let alone restore their lives to normal. I made it so they can't use weapons anymore, though. Hopefully that makes it a little safer. I think it's the best approach for now. Thank you for your swift action, Gulu Jia.
Oh, I actually found a storyline of cutscenes on this game that I'll actually watch.
On which game? This powerlessness, I can bite it no longer. What'd you say? I'm start talking.
No, I finally found a string of cutscenes on 14 that I will actually watch.
Oh, which one's that?
The raid ones for this.
Why does that not surprise me? I mean, your character's part of them.
You know, my twin?
Yeah.
That bitch.
No matter how much hardship and loss we could endure if there was but happiness at the end. And all I see now is suffering and misery. And I cannot bear it. I want to protect the people. For their happiness, I would do anything and everything. So please lend me your aid. As long as you don't ask me to give this key to this asshole. Oh, Sphene, you found the words I wish you'd said back then. Our strength is yours, Sphene. Together we'll get through this. Let's split up and get to work. Might I trouble you to report to Shale, my friend? It's been a trying day, but it seems the worst is behind us. What's the situation out there now? You've moved quickly to restore things to normal, thank you. Yet while disarming the soldiers is indeed prudent, it is a far from comprehensive measure when vehicles can be commandeered to inflict damage and sow chaos. For the time being, I'll set our people to keeping a close watch on machines. I also might consult the authorities about enlisting hunters to our aid. I shall gain my proficiency in magic. To that end, I shall seek advice from Y'shtola and Alisaie. Among the books we recovered from the castle was a grimoire I once used. I hope to learn to yield it again at everyone's side. As for the key, I think it best that it remains in your care, though it means that you will bear the greatest risk. In order to ease your burden, I shall endeavor to become a capable warrior and make Otis and Zulania proud. We'll go with that one. It should pull me a couple thousand in Gil.
All right. Found 17. Don't need 40.
By illness weakened,
don't need 32.
By wounds unmade, by
Next.
age decayed. Such fragile flesh is worthless to us.
So you want to do it blind, so I should shut the fuck up when we're actually doing it, right?
Shall evolve.
I mean, you can warn me to get out of AoEs.
Already arrived at the answer.
You make call-outs, it's just, I don't necessarily want to...
The time is come to pose a new
want to know everything just before I even go in there.
Oh, no. I couldn't even remember everything, to tell you that anyway.
Reprieve from death, but at which cost? For endless life, a legion lost.
You know how I am. I can't tell you a fucking thing about the fight, but once I'm in there, you know, I know it on the spot.
Know it, ignore it, do what you want with it.
Have my way with it.
Pretty much.
Call it a dirty girl and throw it in the corner. I mean, what?